Hey everyone, Tara Lynn here. It is time for the New Year New Hobby Workshop number 4, Sweet Snow. My name is Tara Lynn and I am your host for the New Year New Hobby Challenge. This challenge is just a way to get you to try something new, to enjoy the process of dot art, to not stress and have a good time. I am a mandala designer. I'm a workshop facilitator, and I also run the Kaleidoscope Mandala Club. I've got a lifetime of experience with art and about 10 years experience in mandala design. And I love introducing others to new things. I love teaching beginners. So this is where my heart lies. I'm hosting this challenge to encourage more people to learn the amazing art of dot mandalas and trying to show how easy and how relaxing and how rewarding it can be. So these videos will be available as the replays for 1 week after the event ends, so you don't have to rush and participate all at once. But if you do participate with us this week, we'll have some fun giveaways. So just a reminder, don't stress, have fun. Use the workshops this week as some practice and getting to know the process and the tools. And with that said, let's go ahead. And I said in yesterday's live that I would be picking a winner from yesterday's challenge. So I've got my little sticky cards here. Kathy, I have no idea how to say your last name. Estevez, Kathy A. You win this beautiful bright set of Deco Art paints, which are perfect for dotting. So yay! Kathy, I can't wait to send that to you. Very excited. I'm going to tell you right now what the challenge is for today's giveaway. I want to encourage you to change the design in some way. So if that means changing a color, do that. If it means adding more elements or changing the placement, I want to encourage you to do that today. In some way, make this design your own, and then post a picture of it. And I will choose, again, randomly, I'll just pull a little name out of my cup. I will choose somebody, and what you're going to win is a set of these Marks Mandala dotting tools, and these come in, of course, yours will be new. They come in a variety of sizes, and they are perfect for those of you who are just starting and kind of want maybe a better set of tools to work with and really want to give this a go. So if you would love to win those, I encourage you as we're working to change up this design. Make it your own, change a color, change the placement, add an element, just have fun with it, and we'll go from there. One thing I do want to do before I get into the design part is some of you have been mentioning that you're struggling a little bit with placement. Certainly over time, your eye will help you with that. But one trick that comes in handy is to extend your lines. So once you get your stencil on there, if you extend these lines, that can help you with your placement as well. And so don't be afraid to take a straight edge. I did mention in the tools, a ruler in the suggested supplies, a ruler or a straight edge would come in handy. So this might be helpful as you're working your design out with that placement. And when I teach dot mandalas, I always start with the basics. And that way, as we add on these tricks and tools, things get a little easier. And it's that way with a lot of parts of the process. As you, if you get better tools, sometimes things are a little bit easier. Certainly everybody has their favorite set of tools. the more types of stencils that you get, the more thorough your foundation can be. The better paint that you get. I feel like the Deco Art is perfect. If you upgrade to Deco Art paints, then things get a little easier. So I always start hardest, and then we work our way to easier, because as you learn, the process gets easier as well, and it'll feel like it's all just falling into place. Another tool that I use all the time is just a little compass. So if you need more rings, you can get one of these Staples, or your local office supply store will have these for $1 or $2 at school supply time. Sometimes you can find them at places like Dollar Tree, but if you add more rings, sometimes that will make the placement and the process easier on you as well. So you certainly don't have to do this today, but I'm just showing you. I've got a chalk pencil. This is chalk, so it'll wipe away just like everything else. You could totally, once you have your center dot, you can add some lines for yourself, and that will also help you with your placement. Using this stencil versus the one with 6 arms, this will give you, more arms, will help you that way as well. So there are some tricks you can use to make it a little easier on yourself. But that said, let's go ahead and get started with the design. This one is called Sweet Snow. And I've got my blue and white paint. Oops, you can't see that, but I do have my blue and white paint. Make that just a pinch smaller. And then always I put glitter on there, so you can add that as a top option for your top dots. So feel free to top dot with some glitter. I'm really excited to see if any of you enter the giveaway for the free Mandala tools and how you make this your own. I love seeing how people change the designs. Okay, center dot, 10 millimeters, white paint, I'm a little crooked today. There we go. Next, we're going to use our 3 millimeter tool, blue paint, and we are going to create a ring of 12 around this center ring. To make it easier on myself, I start with my north and south, my top and bottom. We're using a 3 millimeter stylus. Remember to dip and dot each and every time. These are going to be really tight together, so be cautious. I can tell you right now that my circle feels a little wonky. This first ring around the center always feels goofy to me. Mine is a little off, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. because I mentioned this week is not about perfection. It's about practice. It's about learning. So I'm going to embrace that as well. I will show you though what I do if I want to remove a dot is I'll use a little Q-tip. And they do make, if you're really into this, they do make little Q-tip tools. Like this has the little felt end that you can really get into some of those spaces. But these two dots feel funny to me. So sometimes I will remove a dot. If I really feel like it's bugging me, just wet your Q-tip a little bit and you can get in there and wipe it off. Like I said, I'm gonna embrace it because this week is about practice and I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I did want to show you what I do if I'm not happy. All right. Sometimes too, if it's a really tricky thing and I can't erase it, I will let it dry and I'll just put some black paint over it and then I'll redot when I'm finished with everything. So that's an option too. All right, so we have the ring of 12. Then we are going to use a 6mm tool and we're going to do 6 dots. So if you've got your 12 lines, it's going to be 1 on every other line. If you've got if you're using the template with 6, then it's every line. $6mm white. We're going to do 6 dots. Then I'm going to use an 8mm tool and I'm going to do 6 dots. These are going to be offset. So when I say offset, it means it's going to go centered in between that previous row. So we're going to do every other space in between these with 8mm white paint. Next, we are going to use a 10mm tool. And we're going to use blue paint. So I'm going to do some of these larger blue dots. Again, these are going to be offset. So we're going to do 6 and they are going to fall halfway in between that previous row. So here, 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 10mm blue. So we're doing 6, so that's every other. We're going to keep using that tool, the same tool, 10mm, and we're going to use white paint. We're going to offset this again, so I'm going to go out just a little bit and we're going to place a dot in between. So we're going to do 6 again. This time white paint, 10mm. So I'm going to find the center and then just go out a little bit. Offsetting your rings or offsetting the dots in a pattern is really common in making dot mandalas. All right, I'm going to get my stylus tool, 3mm. We are going to do a dot and then swoops on each side of the blue. So the dot is going to be white paint, 3mm. So I've got my large end of my stylus and I'm going to find that blue dot and I'm going to put the center dot right next to it. And then we're going to use the stylus to dip and swoop on each side. And again, you may have to swoop more than once. So if you run out of paint, you just start at the beginning and pull it farther. Remember, when you do swoops, you hold it like a pen or a pencil and like you're writing. So don't lift it, just let it run out of paint on its own. I saw lots of good swoopers posting pictures in the group. All right, we are going to add a petal around these white dots. We are going to walk the dots first, and then we're going to dot and swoop. So we're going to start walking the dot with the center dot, 3 millimeters, white paint. So I'm going to do all my little centers first. Once you have the centers, we're going to flip to the smaller end of your stylus, and we're going to walk the dots on each side. So 1.5 millimeter stylus, white paint. We're going to dip once and walk, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dip and walk, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. right, I'm going to get a 4mm tool and blue paint, and we are going to do the dot and then the swipe on each side. So I'm going to do my center dot with 4mm and blue paint. We're going to do that center dot. And then I'm going to use my 3mm stylus, the large end, blue paint, and I'm going to swoop on the side. Sometimes when I have to swoop a long distance, I can redip in the paint. As long as you start back at the beginning, you'll still get that nice swoopy end. That swoopy taper. Oops. All right, next we're going to do these large teardrops. These are 10mm white paint, and when you're looking at your snowflake, you do have 2 of these that are going to fall on a short edge versus a corner. That's where I like to start when I have that in my pattern, just because I know that's the farthest out that I can go. So we're going to find the rays with the blue dot and the white swoops. And then we're going to use our 10mm tool to add a dot. And then you can use your smallest stylus, dip in the paint, and then pull that out to a pin. And then fill in that teardrop shape by moving the paint. If you ever feel like you don't have enough paint, dip into the paint and add it over the top of existing paint, and then just kind of pull that outward. And there are going to be 6 of these. So take your time and make your teardrops. All right, next we are going to do this little element here at the end, which is 2 sets of double dots. So we're going to start with the white paint, 3 millimeters, and this is going to go next to the petal with the white inside and the blue swoops. So again, I'm going to find the one that's on my short edge because I know that's where I have a restriction on this space. I have more room in the corners. But I'm going to start with my white, and we're going to dip 3 millimeter stylus, dip and dot once, and then dip and dot that second dot. So it's just 2 dots right next to each other. Dip and dot, dip and dot. And then for the other half of that double dots, we're just going to use blue paint, same tool, 3 millimeters. And we're going to dip and dot once on the right side and once on the left. And that is the complete base of the design. So like I've done on some of the other days, I'm going to call for a 5-minute break so you can get a drink, go to the bathroom, dry your painting, because this does need to be completely dry before we do the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up break time, and I will be back in 5 minutes. All right, I am back and I'm going to show you what I did for top dots and these fun little swipes. So for the center dot, I used, I believe, a 6mm and blue paint on the white center dot, 6mm. Then we're going to add these swipes. So we've got the ring of blue, we've got a ring of 6 small white, and then we've got these white right here. So I'm going to go out to ring 3, which is 1, 2, 3. I'm using my 1.5mm tool, and I'm going to dip in the paint, and you're starting on a dot. So as long as that dot is dry, you can start your swipe. And so I just dip and pull inward. And this is why I said it's really important for that first layer to be pretty much dry, because you don't want to pull that white paint and ruin your piece. All right, so we've got 6 swipes inward, blue paint. And then next we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use white paint, and I'm going to switch to my larger end, my 3mm, and we're going to go to these blue dots and do the same thing. I'm going to dip and then swipe inward, and these start on the blue dots. Oops. And we're going to do that one more time, still with the 3mm. This time we're going to do it on the teardrop shapes with the blue paint. So 3mm, swipes on the teardrops with blue paint. And there you have it. This is the Sweet Snow design. I can't wait to see what you made. Remember to enter to win the mandala tool set. Post yours in the group and either add to it or change it in some way. So I can't wait to see that. And our final giveaway will be tomorrow And all you have to do to enter that giveaway is show up on the live. And I will be giving away 2 free months in my mandala membership, the Kaleidoscope Mandala Club, so that you can continue practicing and working on your mandala skills. So if you want to enter, make sure you show up live with me tomorrow night for the final video. Post your picture from tonight in the group. Make sure you embellish it or change it in some way. Make it your own, and you'll enter to win. I will pick the winner for that tomorrow as well. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow and make our final design. Thanks so much for joining, everyone.